So the pizza adventure continues. We made a Neapolitana. Now we're going to make a classic New York pizza at home in your home oven using a baking steel. We're going to break down the recipe from the dough to the sauce to the cheese and the eating. You do not want to miss this one. So let's get making a classic New York pizza. Pretty sure I butchered that accent. Okay, let's get baking. Oh, yeah, let's get cooking. So we're going to make this pizza dough in a stand mixer. You can do this by hand as well, but for this one, we're going to use a stand mixer. Get your bowl, lock it in. Then you're going to use 420 grams of bread flour. Bread flour's got a high gluten percentage, which is what you need for like the New York style. And then in there, we've got some fast-acting yeast. Just going to put that straight in. I've checked to see if it's alive already. 2.2 grams of yeast in there, fast-acting. Then we've got ourselves 12 grams of salt. You've got 6 grams of sugar, and I've got 246 grams of water. Now I'm using filtered water, but you can use regular tap water, not a problem. And we're just going to gently mix it for about a minute or so, just to mix it through. So once you've got it to that stage for a minute, it's going to let that chill. So you can see it's like not fully mixed up just yet. A little bit shaggy. I'm going to take this dough hook off. For that, and let it chill for about 20 minutes. And then we'll come back to it. So it's been about 20 minutes. Looking good. Get our hook back on. And now we're going to knead this for about 5 to 7 minutes till it's smooth. Now we're going to add something which you don't always add in New York style pizza, but for home baking, we're going to add a bit of extra virgin olive oil. That and the sugar is going to help it brown up nicely with that pizza steel. Okay, so let's get that in. And add in our oil. About a tablespoon. Also, so we just let that do its thing till it goes nice and smooth. Okay, so it's been about six minutes, I think, for this one. Okay, I'm just going to turn this out and briefly knead it, and then we're going to put it back in there to proof until it's almost double, tripled in size. It's always good to knead it so you can get the feel of the dough. That is lovely, smooth, and elastic. And as always, we're going to do our patented dough spank. Always a pleasure. A bit of oil, bang that in. So we're going to cover this now, leave it for about 1 to 2 hours until it's doubled or tripled. Night night.
So after about an hour and a half, the dough has puffed up quite nicely. Now what we're going to do is turn this out on the board, optional step, weigh this and then divide it by 2, and that is your dough ball. These came in at 344 grams. There we go. To make your dough balls, fold it into a center point until it's nice and doit. Then you're going to give it a gentle little spank and do the same with the other one, and you will have your dough balls. Once your balls are tight, give them a gentle little spank and then put them into an oiled bowl container like this. This dough recipe is enough for 2 big pizzas.
So we got our dough balls here. They're going to go in the fridge now for about 1 to 3 days. If you don't want to do this step, leave them out on the counter for about 3 hours and they'll be ready to shape and bake on your steel. But cold fermenting them is where it is at. A lot of the pizza shops will do this because that's how you get all the flavor out of that dough and all those lovely, lovely tasty notes that a good pizza should have. So 1 to 3 days in there. I think I'll put them in for about probably 2 days. Okay, let's get them in. So we've got our dough ball out the fridge. It's been in for 2 days. Let's see how much that's puffed up. You can see how jiggly that is. Look at that. Lovely bubbles, fermentation, very nice. So we're gonna let that sit for about 2 hours or so at room temperature, maybe 3 just to come up, and then we'll shape it. Meanwhile, in the oven, we've got our pizza steel, which has been heating. We're gonna preheat that at the top, near the top, for about an hour. That's gonna make sure you get a nice crispy base, so don't just bang it in there. Make sure you preheat your pizza stone or your steel before you're gonna use it. Let this chill out for a bit and then we'll shape it. Ooh. So now let's make the pizza sauce while we're waiting for everything. So I've got these, which are already crushed up, organic tomatoes. This brand is absolutely phenomenal. Normally I'll get the whole tomatoes and just do it myself, but I couldn't find any, so this is all I had, so we're gonna use these. Basically, you've already got pizza sauce right here in the can. Now, a lot of people like to cook their pizza sauce for New York pizza, but I think you should kind of just leave it plain. Now, this one's already been blitzed up, because I think if you cook it, you end up killing the tomato freshness and flavor a little bit. So for New York pizza, you've got to sweeten up the sauce. So we're gonna add about 12 grams of sugar. Oh yeah, lovely, lovely sugar. And add in about 2-3 grams of salt. I'm gonna taste it and I'm gonna see if we need more. And then you've got to have this, which is basically oregano, or as we say in these here parts, oregano. So what you want to do with this is just add some of this in about 2 grams or so. We'll start with that, and then we're going to add a little bit more to the base as well when we're cooking it. Give that a little mix, and then we're just going to taste this and see if we need a bit more salt. Oh, and a bit of extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want to put extra virgin olive oil in your pizza sauce, you do you, but I love the taste. So just a little bit. And I like a bit of black pepper too. So depending on what mood as well, you can put in like, you know, cooked garlic, some chili seed. You can do all that kind of stuff too, but I think for this style, it's nice to just have it plain. Touch more salt. There's nothing worse than an unseasoned pizza sauce. Touch more salt, maybe quite a bit more salt. And then put that aside, and we'll just set that aside until we need it. Now let's talk cheese. I've already grated some mozzarella here. So this is a part skimmed mozzarella. You get it in the big blocks. I've used it. You might have seen me use some of this before. I'm just going to grate some pecorino. So I've made enough for about 2 pizzas. I think I've probably got about maybe 400 or 500 grams of cheese in total. You can make it as cheesy as you want, but you don't want to go too crazy with it. I'm going to cover this, set it aside. Let's get shaping our pizza. So I've got the semolina, which I'm going to use. Should be enough. Our beautiful dough ball. Let's look at that. You can just see how springy that is. Give that a little shake. Should come out. There we go. Lovely. And we get a bit more flour. Just feel how light and airy this is. I'm going to get this out. It's going to be a big pizza, so we're going to stretch this on the counter. We'll start it on the board and then we'll transfer it to the counter. All good. There we go. Very nice.
Now, just with the Neapolitana, you want to start from the bottom, work your way up and keep pushing the dough until you get the crust. Now, we don't want that big of a crust for New York style pizza because it's not like a Neapolitana. So just get it flat like this, flip it, and then we're going to stretch and fold. You've seen me do this before. Just stretch it, put it over your hand, and then put it over the back of your knuckles and keep stretching it and let gravity do the work. We're also going to stretch it like this, which is our nice sort of DJ method. And then all we're trying to do is get this to basically stretch out as big as we can before we take it to the counter. Now, if it springs back a bit too much, that means the gluten is pretty strong. So rather than fight it, just let it sit and relax for about 30 seconds to a minute. Get back to it and then start stretching it again, and you will see that it will get bigger. Now that's a pretty big pizza right now, quite nicely round there. Flour your peel and get it on in one shot, and you can readjust it and stretch it out a little bit more. I think I was faffing around a little bit too much, and that's probably what stopped it from being perfectly round. But oh well. Get on your sauce. Do not be shy. About ladle and a half. Get it nice and saucy, and then put on a little bit more of that dry oregano, and then you're going to put your cheese over liberally. Not too much, but you want a nice coating. And then don't forget about the pecorino as well. Get some of that in there. And then give it a little stretch adjustment. Make sure it jiggles off the peel. That's loose, and get it in the oven. So that pizza still has been preheating for an hour. The oven is on full whack, so watch your smoke alarm if you're going to do this one. There you go, just have a little look at it, and now sped up the footage so you can see this beautiful pizza cooking and bubbling. Look at that go. Very nice indeed. Now, you can cook this from anywhere to 7 to 10 minutes, depending how crispy you like it. Now, I'm going to give it a little turn. You don't really need to do this, but just a little bit of faff and it looks all right. So just do it. Make sure you get it nice and crispy. I did mine for about 9 minutes 30, closer to 10, because I like it really crispy. Look at that. Yes, please. Put it on a little tray rack like this just to chill out for a second.
So, you know, I think that's a very respectable pizza indeed. Looks fantastic. Sure, could have got it a little bit rounder, but you know, doesn't matter. That's okay. Oh man, really want to get into this. Okay, it's going to be time to cut this. Looks like a good pizza there. You just hear how crispy and crunchy that base is. The sauce is amazing. The cheese is phenomenal. So you've got a real nice blend of the cheese. Now you're supposed to get like a low moisture mozzarella, part skimmed, or full fat, should I say. But they're hard to come by. You have to have like commercial accounts. So this is good for home. Then you don't get as much separation. I'm not bothered because they're first world problems in the pizza world as far as I'm concerned. I want them taste. And I want the flavor. Try this crust. I mean, just look. The pizza tunnel of destiny. You may enter, but you do not know where you may end up. I know where I'm ending up, in this bloody nirvana of pizza. So crispy. Phenomenal pizza. Highly recommend. Beautiful crust underneath. That's because we use the baking steel. Shout out to Baking Steel, phenomenal product. I'm glad I purchased one. They haven't sponsored this. But if you do one in the future, I won't say no. But the flavor and spirit of New York is definitely here in this slice. If you like pizzas, there's plenty more to come in this series. So as always, please like, comment, hit that notification bell, and I will see you all on the next one. Big love. See you all. Wicked.